Well, happy Tuesday to you. This is the Tuesday after Easter, and my prayer and wish and desire for you is that the joy of the risen Christ is still present with you today. There's a story of a Sunday school class, a children's Sunday school class, and there was this rather precocious girl in the Sunday school class that always knew the answer and always wanted to make sure everybody knew that she knew the answer. She was just very outgoing. She did know the answer. She was very bright. And so they had been studying God's creation, those 7 days of creation, out of the first chapter, the very first chapter in the Bible there on day 1, day 2. And they had gone through the 7 days, and the teacher said, well, let's do a review and had some Tootsie Rolls to pass out to people who got the answer right. And he said, so on the first day, what was it that God created? And that little girl jumps up. She goes, I know. But the teacher wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to participate, asked another little boy. And he said, okay, what did God make on the first day? And the little boy said, God created light. God made light. Right. So he got the Tootsie Roll. And then God said, okay, on the second day, what did God make? And again, the little girl jumps up and she's waving her hand, and he calls on a different girl. The teacher calls on a different girl, and she says, God made the sky. And he gave her a Tootsie Roll. And then God says, okay, on the third day, the girl, I know. And before he could say, okay, she says, God made Jesus rise from the dead. Now, that is true. That did happen on day 3. Day 3 of creation, though, is linked to Easter, because on day 3 of creation is where we have life happens. It's on day 3 of creation where the vegetation first sprouts up through the ground, and we see life happening all around. It's on Easter Sunday when Jesus was raised from the dead, and we see life happening. Life happens. Now, I know sometimes we use that term, life happens, in a different way. When Jeanette and I were in California a while back, I was listening to the oldies station. What I knew was the oldies station, but they're playing Aerosmith and Boston and Elton John. I mean, those were not oldies, but hey, life happens. And then it got worse. When we got back from vacation, I go to the Park Place Assisted Living Center, and over the PA system at the Park Place Assisted Living Center, they were playing Elton John. I mean, come on. I guess life happens. But as we continue our journey in these devotionals to the book of Philippians, a beautiful verse in chapter 3, the 10th verse, Paul says, I want to know Christ and experience the mighty power that raised him from the dead. And it is the power that gives us life. It is the power that makes life happen. Today is Tuesday. It is the third day of the week, and I just want you to know that today life happens and life is happening. As many of you know, my favorite flower is a tulip. Probably from having grown up in Michigan, because when the tulip would come up, that was the first sign of spring. The first sign of spring. But I think about that tulip that was there sunk in the hard frozen ground. And from that bulb starts to break free this leaf. And that tender leaf makes its way through the hard-packed frozen ground in the springtime that's become soft, and it makes its way up and finally breaks through, and then the tulip comes and blooms, and we see that life happens. Paul says, I want to know Christ and experience the power that raised Jesus from the dead. In other words, I want to know Christ and experience the power that gives life. Today, day 3 of the week, the third day after Easter, know that life happens. God bless you. Amen.